but let's get a view of the beautiful world. You already know. You already know what it is. Look at the beautiful earth. So beautiful. I'm sure there's some coconut trees out there that we just looked at. I'm pretty sure. We passed a couple. There's one right there. I don't know if we could zoom in. Bam, coconut. Alright. I know it's not Thursday, but this is Thursday's lesson. Alright, I know it's not Thursday, but this is Thursday's lesson. The curse of trans fatty acids from, this is the coconut oil miracle. I'm going to read to you. Oh, I got some wires in the way. From AlleyHTseries. This is the book, The Coconut Oil Miracle. We're still on chapter 1. This is the very last part of chapter 1. The truth about coconut oil. And this part is called Curse of the Trans Fatty Acids. Catering to public sentiment, McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's restaurants announced they would replace the saturated fat they had been using with more healthful vegetable oils. The switch to the new vegetable oils actually increased the fat content of the fried foods. Hardly a healthful move. Tests by the FDA and others found that French fries cooked in beef tallow absorbed less fat than those cooked in vegetable oil, which led to estimates that the switch to vegetable oil would more than double the fat content of fries and subsequently increase fat consumption. In addition, the fat was hydrogenated. This kind of fat is worse than beef tallow because it contains toxic trans fatty acids. Trans fatty acids have a greater negative effect on blood cholesterol than beef tallow and therefore are considered to carry a greater risk for heart disease. The ASA succeeded in producing a health crisis where none had existed. The general ignorance about nutrition by most people swayed them into siding with the soybean industry, which proves that money and politics can override truth. Sounds very familiar what may be happening today, this year in 2021. In reality, there was no public outcry. The change was mainly brought about by an aggressive negative campaign. As a result, most major food companies, sensitive to consumer fear, were formulated hundreds of products, replacing tropical oils with hydrogenated oils. Since 1990, the fast food industry has been cooking French fries in hydrogenated vegetable oil instead of beef tallow and tropical oils. They made the change because of the prevailing opinion that vegetable oils were healthier than other oils. Up until the late 1980s, Corona, excuse me, tropical oils were common ingredients in many of our foods. Breads, cookies, crackers, soups, stews, sauces, candy, and frozen and prepared foods of all sorts. Tropical oils were used extensively by the food industry because they gave foods many desirable properties. These plant-derived saturated fats, being highly stable, do not go rancid, as polyunsaturated oils do. When tropical oils were used, foods remained fresh longer and were better for you. As a result of the tropical oils war, coconut and palm oils nearly disappeared from our food supply. The consequence is that we now consume far less of the health-promoting fatty acids found in coconut oil and much more of the health-destroying trans fatty acids found in hydrogenated soybean oil. Nearly 80% of all the vegetables used in the United States today comes from soybeans. 3/4 of that oil is hydrogenated, containing up to 50% trans fatty acids. This amounts to an awful lot of nasty trans fatty acids in our foods now that weren't there before. For example, a single restaurant meal that contained only 2.4 grams of trans fatty acids in 1982 contains a whopping 19.2 grams today. The food is the same, only the oil is different. Because hydrogenated oils are used everywhere, we are cursed with trans fatty acids just about any time we eat, unless we prepare foods from scratch. Yes, we lost the war. We lost the many health benefits that can result the regular consumption of coconut products. And we gained too. We gained an increased chance of suffering from heart disease, cancer, diabetes, infectious disease, obesity, and immune dysfunction. These are conditions that have all been tied to the consumption of hydrogenated and partially hydrogenated vegetable oils, and you can find this on the CDC. Through the cunning marketing strategies of the ASA and the misguided efforts of public interest groups, we have replaced a good health-promoting fat with a very destructive and harmful one. Even now, the embers of this war still burn. Many ill-informed writers and speakers continue to condemn coconut oil as containing artery-clogging saturated fat. But who are you going to believe? Are you going to believe the soybean industry, which has a huge financial interest at stake, or are you going to believe the research based on Pacific Islanders, who eat a great deal of coconut oil and have far better health than the rest of us? And residents of Sri Lanka, who eat lots of coconut oil, but have one of the lowest rates of heart disease in the world. Personally, I believe those people who eat coconut oil and don't have heart disease. Hey, I've been eating coconut oil since 2014 and people still don't believe me. I get it. In Western countries, we eat very little coconut oil but consume a significant amount of hydrogenated vegetable oils. The result? Heart disease is on a rampage. It is our #1 killer. Studies have clearly shown that natural coconut oil as a part of a normal diet has a neutral effect on blood cholesterol. Non-hydrogenated, non-adulterated coconut oil has absolutely no adverse health effects. Epidemiological studies show conclusively that populations that consume large amounts of coconut oil experience almost no heart disease as compared to other populations whose diets contain only a small amount of coconut oil. If coconut oil did have any adverse health effects associated with it, we would see it reflected in the morbidity and mortality in populations that are high consumers of coconut oil. Yet, they are among the healthiest people in the world. Simple logic clearly refutes the ASA smear campaign. As you will discover in the following chapters, coconut oil offers so many health benefits that is correctly labeled the healthiest oil on earth. The healthiest oil on earth. There we go. Almost did it on Facebook. Well, that is the very last part of The Truth About Coconut Oil from The Coconut Oil Miracle by Bruce Fife. This is the 5th edition that I have. So once again, I'll have a bunch of links that maybe agree or disagree with this message in the YouTube. And I really want to know, I want your feedback, people who are like, okay, well, let's see if it works for me personally, because maybe it doesn't work for everybody. But if you want to try it, please leave in the comments maybe the good effects or maybe even bad effects it may have had on you, so you can inspire more people to start putting a healthier oil in their diet, and eventually we can demand this oil back. But I believe I found on the CDC that in 2030 or 40 or 20 to 30 years that they are going to be taking all the other oils off the shelf because they have proof of all the damaging effects. So if you want to get ahead of the game, you know what I mean, just try it for yourself, see if it works for you, and please leave a comment for those who may be experimenting with coconut oil as well. I love you guys. Next week we'll be on chapter 2, which is understanding fats. So in a while in this Thursday day, it is going to get really scientific and confusing, but at least you probably will know more about the oil you're eating now, or if you're going to be eating coconut oil, than you ever knew about any of the cooking oils that you ever cooked with. Hey, I didn't know either, okay? I'm learning too with you. It's just I read the book in 2014. So I'm reading it to you guys, and let's see if it's real or not. I've had very good experiences with coconut oil, and if I feel good, I would love for you to feel good as well. So I'm actually about to go live again. We're going to talk about Food Fridays. Actually, it's Friday. We're going to talk about apples. So have a great day. Talk to you in a second. Get your coconut oil in. I love you guys. Acceptance is peace. God is love, and there is no man-made medicine, drug, or vaccine that's more powerful than time in love. And God is love. Alright, I love you guys.